Hello everyone, in this video I will share some of the most common Java mistakes that I have seen. Not only fresher but even experienced developer sometimes make this mistake, and this mistake can lead to more bug in production, performance issue, sonar smell issue, and more sonar smell issue means your code is not up to mark or up to industry, and due to that you can get negative code review comment, and sometimes you can get the interview rejection as well. So for every mistake I will show you real-time pseudocode and will explain you what is wrong in that code and why it is considered a bad practice and how we can fix it using a standard Java based practice. By the end of this video you will be able to write cleaner, smarter and more professional Java code that stand out in any interview as well as real world project. So without wasting any time, let's start with most common mistake made by fresher Java developer ignoring Java naming convention. And this may look a small thing, but trust me, this is one of the first thing reviewer notice during code review. So in Java, there are standard naming conventions that we should follow while writing our class name, method name, variable name, and constant. So first, let's look the naming convention for class name. At this Java code, one of my junior fellow wrote something similar to this. Now the question here is, will this code compile? Yes, we will not get any compile time error. But can I consider it good Java code? The answer is no. And why? Because you can see here, the class name start with lowercase letter. And according to Java naming convention, class name should be written in Pascal case. It means that every word start with capital letter without underscore, space and any special character. So let me rename this class, and this is correct class name as per Java naming convention. And these are some example of incorrect class name as per Java naming convention. Now let's talk about method name. And unlike class name, method name should follow camel case convention. It means that method name should always start with lowercase letter. So let me create some method here, and first method I can create a generate report. Let me create second method as delete report, and in same way you can create some more method here. And these are some example of incorrect method name as per Java naming convention. Similar to this, variable name should also follow camel case convention, but please avoid creating variable name like X, Y, Z or A, B, C unless the data scope is not very small. Now finally let's talk about constant. And constant name should always be written using upper snake case. It means that all letters should be in uppercase letter and words are separated using underscore. So let me create one constant here. We'll write public static final int max retry count is equal to 3. You can notice this constant, all words are in uppercase and separated using underscore. And similar to this, you can create some more constant. So naming convention may seems like a small details, but they make your code much more readable and professional. Now let's move to our second common mistake, using incorrect access modifier. And this one is much more serious because it directly affects encapsulation and security of your object. So let me create one field here with public access modifier. So write here public double loan amount. You can see here for this variable the access modifier is public, and if you are also doing the same thing, then this is considered as a bad practice. And why? Because anyone can access and modify this field from outside of this class, and which break the encapsulation. So never ever expose your field as a public. So let me change the accessibility of this field from public to private, and now you can access this field from outside of this class using setter and getter method. Even I will not suggest you to create setter and getter using manual way or using traditional way. If possible, better you can use the Lombok annotation, and Lombok will generate setter and getter for you. Now let's talk about another common mistake, and it's not just beginners who make it. Even I have seen experienced developer make the same mistake as well, passing too many parameters to a method. And if a method has too many parameters, it's usually doing too many things. So let me show you one real-time pseudocode, and this code has written by one of the senior developer, and this method has too many parameters. So just by looking at it, can you quickly understand what information this method needs? Probably not, since this method has too many parameters, which making it harder to read and easier to misuse. And in fact, Sonar is giving code smell issue. It means that this method should be refactored. So now let me try to replicate the similar scenario here, and we'll show you how we can refactor this kind of method and how we can avoid code smell issue in our real-time production code. So for that, let me create one method, create booking. You can see here this method has around 9 parameters, and this can give you code smell issue in your real production code. So now we need to refactor this method, and to refactor this method, instead of passing 9 separate parameters, I will create one DTO object with all these 9 data member, and will pass that DTO object inside this method. So we'll create class with name customer DTO, and now inside this class I will declare all those 9 data members. Just import this. So now instead of all this, I will pass only one object, that is the customer DTO object. And now you can see this code is much more cleaner and easy to read and easy to maintain. And as per the general guideline of Sonar, if your method has more than 6 or 7 parameters, it's better you can refactor those methods while passing the DTO or request object. Now let's move to another common coding practice, using if-else instead of ternary operator. And this is not really a mistake, it's more about writing cleaner and more readable code. So whenever you need to return one of the two value based on some simple condition, better use the ternary operator instead of if-else. Take a look at this method. This method is responsible to return transaction status based on success value. So if success value will be true, it return completed. If success value will be false, it return fail. And there is nothing wrong in this method. But here we are writing unnecessary line of code. So we can easily replace this if and else using ternary operator. So we'll write return success, and if this value is true, return completed, else return fail. And see, this is much more cleaner, shorter and easier to read. But there are some limitation of ternary operator. If your conditions are very complex or difficult to understand, use the if-else block instead of ternary operator. So always remember, readability is always more important than writing fewer line of code. Now let's move to what I believe is more dangerous mistake, which I have seen multiple times in production code: catching an exception and simply ignoring it. And this is much more serious issue in production code. So proper exception handling is equally important in real-time project. So let me show you some example. So first let me create the main method, and inside this main method I am going to write the try block, and inside this try block I am going to call the process payment method. Right now I don't have this process payment method, so let me create it. And if anything goes wrong, I want to catch that exception. And if anyone look at this code at first glance, this look fine. But writing this kind of code in a real-time project will give you a big problem in production. And why? Because you can see here, exception caught, but then nothing happened. No error message, no logging, and even we are not rethrowing the exception. And this is very common mistake which I have seen in the real world code. So just imagine one scenario. You are making one payment, and due to some reason, payment got failed. Now you want to know why the payment got failed. Since you don't have anything inside your catch block is empty, you don't have any trace why your payment is getting failed. And now imagine debug this kind of issue in production will be nightmare. So whenever you are going to catch the exception, first you log the message. So for that we'll call log.error, and we'll log some message here, payment fail, after log your message, just rethrow the exception. So this is the proper way to handle any kind of exception. But in real-time project, we do not always expose our low-level exception. So instead of throwing this generic exception, we'll wrap this exception into meaningful business specific exception and we'll throw it. So let's throw new payment process exception, and I don't have this process payment exception class as well. So let me create this and we'll extend this by runtime exception. So always remember, if you catch any exception, either you will log it or dap it or rethrow it, but never leave the catch block empty. So these are the first 5 Java mistakes that I frequently see during my code review and in real world project. And by avoiding this mistake, you can write the code that is much more cleaner, easier to maintain, and closer to industry standard. But we are not done yet. In part 2, I will cover some more important topics, including cognitive complexity, string handling, logging mechanism, generics, and many more. So make sure you don't miss part 2. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe to channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next part.